Do you want to know what toxic positivity is? It is a silent killer. Let me show you how. Toxic positivity. Toxic positivity is the pressure to maintain a constant state of positivity, even in difficult or challenging situations. It involves the suppression or dismissal of negative emotions, such as sadness, anger, or fear, in favor of a forced optimism. While positive thinking can be beneficial, toxic positivity takes it to an extreme, invalidating and minimizing the genuine feelings of others. It can lead to feelings of isolation, shame, and a sense that one's experiences are not valid or worthy of acknowledgement. Toxic positivity often manifests in well-intentioned phrases like, "just stay positive," or "look on the bright side." However, these statements can be harmful when they disregard the complexity of human emotions and the importance of acknowledging and processing negative feelings. One of the dangers of toxic positivity is that it can prevent individuals from seeking the support and help they need. When people feel pressured to always be positive, they may hesitate to share their struggles or vulnerabilities, fearing judgment or dismissal. Furthermore, toxic positivity can contribute to feelings of inadequacy and self-blame. When someone is constantly told to stay positive, they may internalize the message that their negative emotions are a sign of weakness or failure. It is important to recognize that it is perfectly normal and healthy to experience a range of emotions, including negative ones. Suppressing or denying these feelings can lead to long-term emotional distress and mental health problems. Toxic positivity can also be harmful in professional settings. When employees feel pressured to always appear positive and upbeat, they may be less likely to raise concerns or offer constructive criticism. This can stifle innovation and hinder problem solving. Moreover, toxic positivity can create a culture of fear and mistrust, where employees are afraid to be honest about their challenges or limitations. This can lead to decreased productivity, increased burnout, and a higher turnover rate. Telling a parent whose child has died to be happy that at least they can have children. Asserting after a catastrophe that everything happens for a reason. Urging someone to focus on the positive aspects of a devastating loss. Telling someone to get over their grief or suffering and focus on the good things in their life. Labeling people who always appear positive or do not share their emotions as being stronger or more likable than others. Urging people to thrive no matter what adversity they face, such as by telling people that they must use enforced time at home during the COVID-19 pandemic to develop new skills or improve their fitness. Brushing off someone's concerns by saying, "It could be worse." There are workarounds to escape toxic positivity. Trust that your emotions play a critical role in your life and/or recovery. Accepting difficult emotions serves as a coping mechanism and decreases the intensity of those feelings. Recognize that acceptance when you talk about how hard your day was, or how you are having difficulty with your medical treatment, with your caregiver, partner, parent, friends, or family. It's important to relieve yourself, to get things off your chest, especially those negative vibes. It's like lifting a weight from your shoulders, even if it's more difficult than pretending everything is fine. Emotions are not all positive or all negative. Instead, think of them as guardrails. They do help us make sense of life. If you're sad about leaving your primary care team, it probably means that experience was meaningful, successful, and reassuring. If you feel anxiety about entering the post-active treatment stage, it probably means you are concerned about recurrence and/or how you are perceived by others. Feelings are not only a way for our mind to clue us into what's happening, they also help communicate information to those around us. If we are sad, it may attract comfort. If we convey guilt, it helps the call for forgiveness. While it may be beneficial to try to look on the bright side of things and find the silver lining in life's myriad experiences, it's important to also acknowledge and listen to our emotions when they aren't as pleasant. No one can be a ray of sunshine all the time. As humans, we just don't work that way. In fact, paying attention and processing your emotions as they come and go may help you better understand yourself and enable those around you to help you even more. To avoid toxic positivity, try to acknowledge, accept, and reframe negative emotions. For example, instead of saying, "Think positive," say something like, "The way you're feeling is valid. How can I help you?" The same approach can be applied to your own thoughts. If you consistently have trouble in this domain, it may be worth exploring the topic with a therapist. For example, do you feel guilt or shame about certain emotions? Do you avoid conflict at all costs? Do you lack confidence in your ability to solve problems? These questions and others can unearth the reasons for these tendencies and the skills to change them. If you recognize toxically positive behaviors in yourself, there are things that you can do to develop a healthier, more supportive approach. Some ideas include, remember it's okay to not be okay. Develop an attitude that, it's okay to not be okay. Instead of having a viewpoint that it's wrong to have negative feelings, accept that it isn't realistic to be okay all the time. Remind yourself that if someone doesn't feel okay, that's perfectly acceptable. Manage emotions without denying them. Manage your negative emotions, but don't deny them. Negative emotions can cause stress when unchecked. However, they can also provide important information that can lead to beneficial changes in your life. Focus on listening. Focus on listening to others and showing support. When someone expresses a difficult emotion, don't shut them down with toxic positivity. Instead, let them know that what they are feeling is normal and you are there to listen. Instead of toxic positivity, it is more helpful to practice emotional validation and empathy. This involves acknowledging and accepting another person's feelings without judgment or minimization. It means listening attentively, offering support, and creating a safe space for open communication. By fostering a culture of emotional authenticity, we can create environments where people feel empowered to express their true feelings, both positive and negative. This allows for healthier coping mechanisms, deeper connections, and a greater sense of well-being. Instead of saying, "Just stay positive," you can say, "I am listening." Instead of saying, "Good vibes only," you can say, "I am here no matter what." Instead of saying, "It could be worse," you can say, "That must be really hard." Instead of saying, "Things happen for a reason," you can say, "Sometimes things happen, how can I help?" Instead of saying failure isn't an option, you can say failure is sometimes part of life. Instead of saying happiness is a choice, you can say your feelings are valid. If someone you know has a tendency to respond to your negative feelings with statements that aren't supportive or emotionally validating, some ways you can respond to toxic positivity include, be realistic. Be realistic about what you feel. When facing a difficult situation, it's normal to feel stressed, worried, or even fearful. Don't expect too much from yourself. Practice self-care and work on taking steps that can help improve your situation. Challenge toxic positivity. Don't be afraid to challenge the person being toxically positive. While challenging this type of response can be uncomfortable, confronting the person's approach provides them the opportunity to grow. This can be especially helpful if facing toxic positivity at work, helping leaders evaluate the impact of their statements and actions. Remember, emotions can be mixed and complicated. Know that it's okay to feel more than one thing. If you are facing a challenge, it's possible to feel nervous about the future and, at the same time, hopeful that you will succeed. Your emotions can be as complex as the situation itself. Find meaning. Look for meaning behind what you're going through. Tragic optimism, or searching for the meaning behind difficult situations, is the opposite of toxic positivity and, according to some, is considered the antidote to this type of response. Notice how you feel. Following positive social media accounts can sometimes serve as a source of inspiration, but pay attention to how you feel after you view and interact with such content. If you are left with a sense of shame or guilt after seeing uplifting posts, it might be due to toxic positivity. In such cases, consider limiting your social media consumption. Put your feelings into words. When going through something hard, think about ways to give voice to your emotions in a way that is productive. Write in a journal or talk to a friend. Research suggests that just putting what you are feeling into words can help lower the intensity of negative feelings. It can sometimes be difficult to distinguish positivity from toxic positivity. For example, if a friend says, "Look on the bright side," they may not mean to ignore your distress. But if someone consistently rejects your negative emotions, and if you consistently feel instructed to feel or act in a way that is disingenuous, toxic positivity may be at play. Positivity is also particularly unhelpful in certain situations. Research suggests that looking for silver linings is beneficial in uncontrollable contexts, such as being laid off, but harmful in situations that they can control. Using positivity when one's identity is threatened, such as in the case of experiencing racial oppression, also leads to lower well-being. Encouraging someone to use an emotional regulation strategy that they aren't skilled at can also lower well-being. In conclusion, toxic positivity is a harmful practice that disregards the complexity of human emotions and the importance of acknowledging and processing negative feelings. By promoting emotional validation, empathy, and psychological safety, we can create a more supportive and compassionate society where everyone feels valued and understood. Ladies and gentlemen, I know the sad reality that we are living. Many of us are not aware of the things that are holding us back from progressing in life, and this silent killer is one of them. Increase your awareness towards toxic people around you, and if you are going through a lot in life and you are surrounded by toxic people, try to remember that you are not alone. Make a little effort to break the evil cycle that you are living and be free. Always remember one rule: nobody will take the first step for you, it always has to be you. Take the first step towards healing and good people will come to your life. Anyways, this was it for the day, guys. Consider if you think such videos are cool. Have a good rest of the day. I will see you in the next video.